there could be many diversions on one particular day because of weather or because of
absolutely
something.
Okay, it is a stressor because when everything is going as per how you have planned, you are chill. Okay, cool, this is what I've planned, that's what is happening. But when things do not go as planned, then there is
Hello everyone. Welcome back to India's #1 pilot podcast. And this is episode number 50. Yes, we have reached half century. So, we did miss you in the last few weeks, but
guys, forgive us, we are a little bit out of touch because of multiple things. Chintan was on his line training. Chintan, winged engineer.
Yes.
Okay, was on his line training. I was on my ground training for the airline training, what is called as an airline training. So everybody had their schedules, and apart from that, as you know, the batches in CNTAA are full, so there are many tasks that we have, so we couldn't shoot. Now we will be back, and hopefully, fingers crossed, one episode every week we will be back on that. Episode 50, meaning at least 50 hours of value that we have tried to provide you here, and that's why we do this podcast. And for those who are new here, who do not know about Pilot Podcast and watching a podcast for the first time, I'm Nilay Thakare. That's Chintan, or Winged Engineer, and that's Captain Neha Thakare. Captain Neha Thakare, you might have heard about us, but if you are new here, then welcome and consider subscribing. And we'll just do, for the new viewers of this podcast, we'll just do a short introduction of ourselves, would say.
Yes, that would be a good idea, because day by day we get new subscribers, new aspiring pilot who are watching this podcast for the first time. So yes, my name is Chintan, and on Instagram it's Winged Engineer. So mostly people know me by the name Winged Engineer. I am a civil engineer, and then I did a course in gemology from Gemological Institute of America. After that,
what is gemology?
Gemology is
I know, but
yes. Gemology basically the understanding of the stones. Like there are diamonds, there are emeralds, ruby and all. So whenever, let's say there's a diamond, so a person goes to a showroom to buy a diamond. So for that, there's a particular certificate stating its characteristics, like the color, carat, clarity and cut. So whenever I see a diamond, I can generate that certificate. So in that there's
it's called GIA certificate.
Yes, right? GIA certificate. So I basically can see the diamond, and I can generate a certificate based on the characteristics of the stone.
Correct.
And I have polished diamonds as well for 6 months before getting into aviation.
Right.
So it's a long path. First civil engineering, then diamonds, then in 2019 joined the cadet pilot program. Did my training from US. We both were together in the US, and then joined the airline last year, and now released as a first officer. So whenever you are on any flight and you hear the name First Officer Chintan, so that's me, Winged Engineer. You can come in the cockpit, say hi. And recently,
not during the flight, guys. Before or after the flight,
whenever the flight, whenever the flight is on ground, and you see the door open and we are done with our duty almost, at that time you can come and say hi. So actually I was operating one flight from Trichy to Mumbai. So in that there were 2 CNTAA students. So they were on board. And they met me in the cockpit, and after the flight also I had a good conversation with them.
I think one of the days my Masi was there from Nagpur.
That was last week only.
Mumbai flight,
yes. That was last week.
That was operating, yes.
That's awesome.
Mom told me, yes.
Yes. Yeah. That's about myself. And no worries.
And then your experience, little bit of experience in L3RS and
yes. So about the flight training, the commercial pilot license. So we have done it from USA. One of the best place to get your training done from, if your budget permits. And those were the best days of flying. like you can enjoy a flying in those phase. But initially, whenever you start the commercial pilot training, you're learning to fly an aircraft for the first time. So the first phase, which is the private pilot license phase, will be the most difficult one.
Yeah, that is a significant
Yes.
learning curve.
Yes, because you're learning to fly a plane for the first time. So if, for instance, if you take an example, if you're learning to drive a car, first few days will be very tough. You will have doubts in your mind whether you will be able to drive the car correctly, safely or not. Same as the training curve. Same will be the thing when you learn to fly an aircraft. So now, like students know me who are going to like US for flight training. So I get some messages, okay, I'm struggling with landings. How do I go about it? So it's all about the technique. So once you get the technique, then you're done.
Absolutely.
And everyone's pace of learning is different. So I always advise them not to compete with others based on the timeline.
Absolutely.
You see what shortcomings you have, take feedback from the instructors, work on it, improve yourself. So which every flight you should have an improvement, and you should not compete with your colleagues who are doing your training. So some may be fast, some may be slow. That's completely okay. But improving on each flight is the main thing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well said. Okay, now you introduce yourself. Most people in aviation know you, but we are humble people here. Okay, we try to be as humble as possible, and we try to refrain from making absolute sentences so that we don't seem to be cocky or anything, because it is really not our intent to be cocky. Definitely not. We do this podcast not to tell or show anybody that we are better than the others. No, nothing like that. Okay. If you are an aspiring pilot, you are giving DGCA exams. When we were giving DGCA exams, we are exactly at the same stage that you are at right now. We happen to overcome those obstacles and complete the process in given period of time and manage to be where we are at right now. That's all. Okay, so yes, Captain, introduce yourself please.
Hello. So this is Captain Neha Thakare. I have myself done my CPL training in the year 2008, and after that have started training aspiring pilots. As in 2008, everyone knows that there was a global recession, and I had applied in all the airlines in India, but because of global recession, those applications were put on hold. So the airline like Jet Airways, which is now no more there, so that was the airline I had applied and had got selected through the entire pilot recruitment process. But then because of that recession, the entire recruitment was put on hold and we did not get selected. So that was the reason. Then I started teaching aspiring pilots, and since then have been teaching. So it's about training of aspiring pilots for about 15 years, since 2008 towards the end. And from then, I just love to teach pilots, and they have benefited. Thereafter, I continued to teach, and then in 2014, the airline came up with the pilot vacancies and applications from all aspiring pilots all over India, and that was the time I applied. And thereafter, I got through that particular vacancy, and since then, I have been flying as a pilot in an airline, in India's leading airline. And there I started from junior first officer in the year 2015, and now I'm a captain for last 4 years. So have accrued about 5,000 plus hours of experience on Airbus 320. That is a narrow body jet, which is the most popular jet in India. And that is how the career progression has been. Alongside, I have been teaching students at CNTAA, and they are getting benefited from this knowledge as well as experience that I have accrued over last 15 years. And that is the small introduction about myself.
Absolutely. Yeah. So great achievements. I'd say You'd have trained over 1,000 students until now, easy.
Yes, more than that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Who's counting, right? Like,
Yes,
who's counting?
absolutely.
Thousands and thousands
Yes,
more
yes,
to
absolutely.
go, and
Yep.
we wish the best for each of them. Like, CNTA is founded by Captain Neha in 2008, and it has been growing ever since. We launched online on-demand platform in 2021 January.
Yes, absolutely.
Chintan
Mhm.
was the first student
Student.
for CNTA in on-demand
On-demand.
platform,
Yeah.
and he managed to clear all 3 DGCA exams in 30 days.
Yes, yes.
Matter of the
Absolutely.
fact, it really is so commendable. Like, definitely, um, you did prove the platform works, but also it was your dedication that
Absolutely.
you made it work. Like, amazing, man, amazing.
Thank
And-
you, thank you.
Yeah, guys, and it is, as Chintan said, it is not a race that Chintan got it done in 30 days. Does not. I got it done in 3 months. I did not get it done in 30 days. I got it done in 3 months. Like, all 3 papers in first attempt, but 3 months. Okay. Back in times, exams used to be every 3 months, like quarterly exams used to be there. But yeah, I finished my syllabus in 3 months. It is not a race. He managed to do it because he had a timeline, and he had decided that I'm gonna do this. So he was burning all the early morning and late night fuel.
Yes.
That is how he managed to do it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. That's a nice introduction. By the way, okay, I'll introduce. I don't think I have ever introduced myself.
Yes.
That's why I get called different names such as hoodie guy, or guys, this hoodie guy is not wearing hoodie today, and and my name is Nilay Thakare. Okay, my name is Nilay Thakare. I'm a civil engineer. I did my engineering, then I was working into real estate appraisals for 8 years, after which I went for flying in a cadet pilot program to Florida. We were colleagues in there, then we became good friends, and now we are work colleagues, both at CNTA and in our airlines.
Yes.
Okay. that is what we do. Okay, I'm married. I am a husband. I do not have any children, like Captain Neha missed on saying that part. She is a mother now. Okay.
Yes.
And do not ask me when I'm gonna have children. I do not know that. Okay.
Hmm. Yes.
That
So,
is the part about me. Yeah, I did my type rating in Thailand, and yeah, 8 years of working in not exactly core of civil engineering, but it's a overlap between finance and civil engineering, real estate basically. So real estate appraisals is what I was working into. Yes, that's about me. Then accumulated some funds, borrowed some funds, and funded my pilot training, finished it. And yeah, there I'm at right now. I'm due with my sim checks at the airline that I'm recruited by. After that, I'll be doing my supernumerary flights, and after that, there will be SLFs, and then there will be a release check. Then I will be a line first officer. Right now, I'm a junior first officer, where Captain Neha was 15 years ago. Not a five. What? Where Captain Neha was in 2015, where
15.
Chintan was last year. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
at that stage right now. Okay.
Yeah.
It's awesome to have you all here. This podcast we do for students or candidates that are just beginning with pilot career, that do not have any idea about how pilot training works, what are the intricacies involved in pilot training, what are the costs, what are the hiccups that students face, because we interact with many students. We come to know that what are the problems, challenges that they are facing, and then we elaborate those challenges in this. Okay, it definitely involves some challenges that we ourselves faced, then that involves some challenges that hundreds of the students at CNTA every year that pass DGCA exams, they're always in touch with us. So if they are facing some challenges, then we convey those. We definitely try to make those easier for them, and then we discuss those challenges right here. And hopefully, the only hope is that that helps you and makes your pilot career easier, makes your journey easier. That is the purpose of this podcast. We do not do, at least I or Chintan do not do this podcast for experienced pilots. She can do it for experienced pilots such as senior first officers or actual airline pilots that are flying. We are ourselves like junior airline pilots. Captain Neha is a senior airline pilot. So yeah, we do not get ahead of ourselves. We tell you the truth. That's what this podcast is about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. So you are a junior.
That was a mouthful, guys.
So you just had your transition from an upgrade, I would say, from junior first officer to a line released first officer. So how was that journey?
Salary hike.
Yeah, salary hike. Of course, it's more than double, I would say.
Yeah.
So salary hike is there. The transition is good.
How much?
Well, I get 1 lakh rupees now from this month. So
yeah,
double of that.
Yeah, more than double, I would say.
Rich.
So yeah. Maybe by a few lakhs by end of this year. So the transition was good. The initial line flying or the supervised line flying when you are a junior first officer. So that one is the most challenging part because you are learning a lot of things. If I relate to the private pilot license as we are just starting our commercial pilot training, it's similar to that because
Correct.
you are doing the line flying. I mean, you know how to fly a plane, but the environment is very dynamic. You have passengers, then you have the crew whom you have to brief as well.
Correct.
And then you are operating a much larger airplane.
Correct.
Okay. So this all factors and you have to be very
Situationally aware.
yeah, and you have to be situationally aware as well, and plus
In a dynamic environment,
yes.
it's quite,
Yes, and plus now the weather, if you see, so it's rainy season, and so actually I was doing a flight from Amritsar to Sharjah and Sharjah to Amritsar back. So that was the first time I was doing, and I was operating an international sector, and I prepared for it as well, and I let the captain know that okay, I'm doing it for the first time, so you have anything to like brief me about. Then he briefed me about each and everything, like which all airspace you'll be passing and what all you can expect. So he just told me that when you go to, like, let's say the UAE airspace, the accent would be a bit different, so you have to be listening it actively. If you don't know anything, just let me know, so he'll assist me with that. So the routing was via Pakistan, so I was half of the flight was over Pakistan, so Lahore, Karachi and all.
Yes.
So I was just seeing there, and the captain was like, we are over Pakistan. So earlier that route was not active, the airspace was not active because of some war or anything, but now we can fly over Pakistan airspace.
So when there was Pulwama attack, so when that attack happened, I myself was over Pakistan airspace.
Okay.
The attack happened, that was in the year 2019. Okay. So we were going from Ahmedabad to Doha. That was the flight, and for a brief period of time we were over Pakistan airspace, and when we landed in Doha, that time the news was there all around that there was a Pulwama attack and now Pakistan airspace is closed. And the next day when we were coming in, that time all the airplanes had to divert. So divert, I would say that they had to detour. Okay. So let's say, for example, you have to go from Delhi to Dubai. Okay. So the routing if you have to go from Delhi to Dubai, it is directly westward route.
Okay.
But if you don't have Pakistan airspace operational, you come all the way from Delhi to Mumbai and thereafter go to Dubai.
Okay.
So it is a detour.
Got
And
it.
that would consume a
So
lot
do
of
you
fuel.
land and take a technical stop in
That was
Mumbai?
not required
Okay.
yet for like Mumbai airspace, I would say,
All right.
and not exactly
Overflying
like
support.
Yeah.
Yeah.
over. You
Yeah.
don't land in
Mhm.
Mumbai, but yeah, Mumbai airspace. So that was it, as well as lot of routes were affected because of that. This was in 2019. This was there applicable, but afterwards the airspace was open. Yeah.
All right.
So any airspace, if it is closed, then the routing that passes over that particular airspace, that definitely gets affected, and that would consume a lot of fuel.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to keep on calculating like how much fuel, and like we have to just keep on cross checking every 5-10 minutes and see what position we are in. So actually we crossed the Pakistan airspace, then Muscat, and then the UAE
yes.
airspace. So that was pretty good, I would say, because the captain had briefed me very well. So didn't have much issue with that. But once we landed in Sharjah, the accent changes, and I felt okay. It's a bit difficult to understand at first, but now with experience, as we do more sectors internationally,
Yes, yes.
we'll get used to it. And then we had some time, so yeah, visited duty free, and yeah, the captain wanted to get something, so yeah,
You didn't.
no, because I didn't have anything planned, and captain usually goes there like every time,
Right.
so he had a list to buy,
Mm-hmm.
and I was clueless. Okay, what should I get and something.
Okay, that brings
Yeah.
another part. Chintan does not drink. I do not drink. Captain Neha does drink occasionally.
Now I
there
am
is-
not for last more than a year now. So
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, I used to drink. I do not drink anymore for last 4 years.
Yes. But yeah, just to clarify, the captain bought some chocolates. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah, that was pretty good. And plus the views which you get while landing into Sharjah, so the development you see,
Yeah.
like the town planning and everything,
Mm-hmm.
like
Beautiful.
it's beautiful.
Was it daytime or night?
It was daytime,
Okay.
around 2:00.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like when we were at 10,000, 15,000 feet, you can see the whole town and how is it planned. And being
Yeah.
a civil engineer, you just
Yeah,
figure out, okay,
yeah.
this is a sewage plant, this is where
The whole town planning,
yeah,
right?
electricity and that all. So I was just seeing, okay, I was like, wow, it's so beautifully planned.
Well, the thing
And-
about those cities is that those are being developed right now. So there is
Recently.
technology
Hmm.
and planning
Town
and
planning
everything
was-
around it. Understanding the current population and the
Forecast
future
and- yeah.
prospects for it.
You can even spot Burj Khalifa from
Yes,
there.
yes.
Yeah, easily.
Visibility was
Yeah.
good, so
Yeah.
we can also see the Dubai city as well.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
nice.
yes.
Yes,
It's
because
very
it's very
adjacent.
it's
Yeah.
very nearby.
Yeah,
And
Burj Khalifa literally like pops out of the clouds. Like it really
Yeah.
does. When I had gone to Dubai, that's when I saw that. Not operating, obviously, but on a flight from a
Flight, yeah.
window. Yeah.
plus they have also started planting trees in the desert, so
Yeah.
you also see a green patch as well, and you say, oh
Right.
wow, this
Right,
is really
right.
happening. On the way back from Sharjah to Amritsar, there was no forecast of any dust storm or thunderstorm over Amritsar and all. But when we were closing in Amritsar about 30-45 minutes, we got an advisory, okay, now there's a thunderstorm warning at Amritsar airport. So we planned for it, and then we were given the VR approach overhead. Okay. So we were asked to hold overhead, but we couldn't hold overhead because the dust storm was already approaching the airport. So we felt the turbulence. The autopilot got disconnected couple of times, and then captain directly took a U-turn, like he pulled the heading 180 degrees, and then informed the ATC, okay, we will not be able to maintain this heading due to a storm. And then we were given a hold down south of the airfield where the weather was bit good, I would say, to hold. Okay. And then suddenly the visibility dropped to 0 at the airport. So the person who landed, so the aircraft who landed before us, so he reported visibility 0 and he stopped on the runway because he couldn't see anything. Okay. So now he is waiting for the visibility to improve. So after 5 minutes, it was good. And then he taxied to the apron. And then one more flight diverted from I don't know which airfield. So they declared a Mayday fuel. So we were continuously holding. Okay. So now
they declared Mayday fuel at Amritsar.
At Amritsar. So they had to land before us. And we were holding for so within this all, like one aircraft landed, other aircraft came in to land at Amritsar with Mayday fuel. So we were holding, and time period was around 30-35 minutes. Okay. And then there's something called as minimum diversion fuel. So we were around 200 kgs to go. And once we hit the MDF, we have no choice, but we have to divert. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll explain you what is minimum diversion fuel and dust storm after I just describe the incident. So then the aircraft ahead of us, which had declared the Mayday fuel, so they landed, and then we were 200 kgs, and we just calculated that from this position, if we do the approach and land, we will be below MDF. Okay, so we had, and in case as the winds were gusty around 30-35 knots, so in case we go around, we'll be directly into the dust storm. Okay, so at that point we had to decide whether we want to continue the approach or divert. Correct. According to the situation, and there were like this is not the only thing, there were many other things which obviously we can't discuss. So because of like this was the main thing, and we diverted to Delhi. Okay. So the weather at Delhi was good, and then we diverted to Delhi, told the ATC, and whatever the procedures were, everything were followed, and then we landed into Delhi, and then
refueled, and then
fuel and everything was taken. So this is one thing. So apart from flying, like if you see in this flight, there was lot more other factors which were there, and due to which we have to do a lot more work, like diversion. Okay, if we are diverting, what route we have to follow? Are we having enough fuel to go to the diversion airfield, like the alternate airport? And if the weather is not good at that airport, then what we are supposed to do? If there is any technical fault, then what we are supposed to do? So this all things like will come with experience. I was seeing it for the first time, and whatever the captain was saying, I was just doing my part in that. So that was the incident which happened, and there was a lot of things which I learned from that incident now. And the main thing was to remain calm. So if in that space, if I lose, okay, shit, now this is happening, what will we do?
Correct.
So that is not the thing, but we have to just remain calm and do our procedures, because we are taught with everything.
Absolutely.
So that was the incident.
Absolutely.
Which,
like you said,
happened. There are many more things like which we will share in the coming episode, but this was the major thing which I feel that we need to share with everyone.
Yes, absolutely.
Like first month of flying and diversion is definitely a big deal. And for the like viewers who may be flying Cessnas right now, or maybe just starting, diverting a Cessna is way easier than diverting a passenger jet, because there are commercials involved. There is a lot of fuel involved. There is a lot of inconvenience and abrupt change of plans that is needed in order to do that. So diversion in commercial flying is, I'd say diversions happen like 1 in 3,000 departures. Usually that is the statistical data. It's not like very regular thing.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
Like the airline that we fly for has 2,000 departures. It's not every day that there is one diversion.
Yes,
it rarely happens actually.
Correct.
So
but if it happens, then it can happen. There could be many diversions on one particular day because of weather or because of
absolutely. Okay, it is a stressor because when everything is going as per how you have planned, yeah, you are chill. Okay, cool. This is what I've planned. That's what is happening. But when things do not go as planned, then there is a lot of work to do in very little period of time. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Absolutely. So, when the diversion is to be considered, then first of all, it is very important to know that whether we are able to land at that particular airport or not. Yes, I
Mhm.
have had two diversions when I was a first officer. I have had a couple of them when I was a captain. So,
So,
it is,
in your 8 years of flying experience,
yeah,
8 or 9 years of
I
flying
have had four diversions.
9 years of flying
Yeah,
experience, you have had four
four.
diversions. And in his 1 month of flying, he has had one.
But my initial first officer days, I had two
Okay.
diversions.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
almost at your level of
Okay.
experience,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
had two diversions, and that too with the same captain. So he always he considers me as diversion partner.
And vice versa, right?
Yeah. And then I did not have any diversion. So it's not bad to have a diversion. If it is required, yes, there is, you should go about it. But yes, when we talk about a diversion, then there is something called as MDF, that is minimum diversion fuel.
Yes, and
That is
Yeah, we can, as
the.
everyone who is watching is an aspiring pilot, we can start with diversion because few of them might not know what is a diversion.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
what is a diversion?
And
What is MDF?
and what is a dust storm and mitigation tower.
What is dust storm? What is Mayday fuel?
Yeah.
Okay, and what is 10 minutes to diversion?
10 minutes to diversion is only for
That is
India.
okay. All right.
What is a flight diversion?
If a flight is, let's say, from Mumbai to Delhi, and if weather at Delhi is really bad, or if one of the runway at Delhi is closed because of which there is a lot of traffic and it is not possible to land in a stipulated period of time, that stipulated period of time is determined by how much extra fuel is available in that particular flight. But if it is not possible to land in that particular time, then pilot needs to take a timely decision whether if he can land at Delhi or he has to divert at Lucknow or any other alternate that is filed for that particular flight. It could be either Lucknow or Jaipur or Amritsar, whatever, or any other alternate airport. So then if in case it is not possible to land, then you cannot continue to wait till weather improves or if ATC gives clearance to land, and pilot needs to make a decision before the minimum diversion fuel hits and make a decision to go to that destination alternate airport. That is called as diversion. So
Now, what is minimum diversion fuel? MDF.
minimum diversion fuel is the addition of the fuel required to go from destination to alternate airport plus 30 minutes of holding at alternate airport.
Yeah. So,
So,
destination is
if
Delhi.
destination is Delhi and alternate is Lucknow, then the fuel which is required to go from Delhi to Lucknow plus the 30 minutes of holding fuel over Lucknow at 1500 feet is minimum diversion fuel.
Okay.
So there is a mandatory requirement to have that much of fuel when you are at destination, and if in case you think that it is not possible to land at destination, then you need to make a decision before you reach MDF value. Let's say MDF is 3500 kg, then you should make a decision before you reach 3500 kg to divert to Lucknow. Again, it depends on your relative position from Delhi airport.
Yeah.
How much time you will
Now,
take
what
to
is
reach.
10 minutes to minimum fuel call?
So 10 minutes to MDF or 10 minutes to minimum diversion fuel is a terminology used only in India. It is not to be used if you are flying in international airspace. This is to give additional time to air traffic controller that, okay, this airplane is going to reach MDF. in
Mhm.
10 minutes.
This is at destination.
This is at destination. So if possible, then they do accommodate that airplane. Otherwise, if it is not possible, then they would announce, okay, you
Okay.
may you can request for your intentions.
And this does not guarantee any priority
no,
or
no,
anything.
no, no. This does
It's-
not guarantee any priority unless it is a Mayday fuel.
Yeah, Mayday
So-
fuel cannot be at destination, right? Like, I mean, unless.
See, the thing is, Mayday fuel, it is not necessary that it cannot be at destination. If you're going to land with less than 30 minutes of fuel in the airplane, the situation is Mayday fuel.
Yeah,
Mhm.
wherever
So
it is.
wherever it is, whether it is destination or alternate or whatever.
Mhm.
So if you are landing with less than 30 minutes of fuel, so in flight you have, let's say, 1 hour of fuel, but at the time of landing, if you are going to have less than 30 minutes of fuel, you still declare Mayday fuel.
Got it.
Okay, so Mayday fuel is, it's a Mayday situation. Mayday situation definitely
Mhm.
has a first priority,
Yeah.
and that is the time when you are really landing with low fuel. That is a violation.
Yeah, it is a safety.
It is a safety hazard,
concern.
safety
Yeah,
concern,
yeah.
and there will definitely be a DGCA audit, as well as there will be a,
Internal
meeting
airline.
regarding
yeah.
airline meeting for sure. DGCA, you will have to
Yeah, it's
that
the-
pilot
yeah.
will have to explain DGCA why that thing happened.
Yeah.
So one should not let that situation happen and not let into Mayday fuel situation, definitely.
Yeah.
So your pilot has to constantly keep monitoring how much fuel is there, how much fuel on landing, estimated fuel on board EFOB, and what is the decision required to be taken at that point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for the aspiring pilots, how this relates is, these are the regulations for airlines, and all the airline operators follow these, like all in the world, not only in India, but it is followed everywhere, so that out of fuel there are no accidents or incidents. That is why fuel planning is done and the whole thing is there. But while you are flying in your commercial, or say Part 61, Part 141, or which are flight school, you are the one to do flight planning, you are the one to do fuel planning, not to take it lightly that, okay, this should be enough. No, it is very important. For cars, it is like, what is the worst thing gonna happen? Now Zain and Ronnie were bringing the car to Mumbai from Delhi. So like my car was in Delhi and they were bringing it here. They're like, आज तो बॉम्बे पहुंच के ही रहेंगे. They came non-stop.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
And they forgot to refuel. Car conked off on the road off of fuel.
Oh my God.
And there is new highway that
Oh my
they are
God.
building. They were on that. There is nobody on the highway. And the car is, I wasn't in that car. Okay. I would not have let this happen. But quick disclaimer, because that is so they are in the morning, 5:36 or something like that, they are just driving and car conked off, zero fuel.
They are so focused on the task that today we have to reach Mumbai.
Yes.
So they ignored all the
Oh
warnings.
my God.
Everything, like all the reserve fuel, everything, and the car conked off out of middle of nowhere. Okay. Now
So
there
what
is no fuel station for like 20-30 kilometers
Oh my
on
God.
both sides, and there is no can, no nothing. Now these guys hop on to a motorcycle somehow after half an hour, 1 hour. Okay, moral of the story, we can't do that with aircraft.
Yes.
Okay, it's not possible. If fuel is over, engines are spooling down and we are gliding. Okay.
Unless you're flying the F-15s.
F-15s. What can we do in F-15?
Mid-air refueling.
Oh yes. No, but hey, how
There
can
need to be somebody else to refuel in.
yeah. And second is that they can't refuel after the fuel is. It's like, guys, made a fuel, send fuel. That's not possible, right? So yeah, even during flight training, take fuel calculation seriously. Keep enough buffer. There are regulations around it for IFR, VFR, right?
Yes,
anyway,
yes. There are like 45 minutes for IFR, 30 minutes for VFR.
The only point in flight training is enforcement is not as strict as that of airlines. Like
True.
Airlines, if you are landing with 29 minutes of fuel remaining, airlines, there is a real-time data reporting that this is how much fuel was there. That will be reported to DGCA immediately. And it is gonna happen. It's not like it may happen. Every move that we do in airplane is reported, monitored. What, every second or every minute?
Every second.
It's real-time data monitoring.
All the flight
second.
parameters are monitored.
Yes. Every second.
And they know like what you're doing. Even if you miss something or any, like if you miss anything, there'll be a, like in their system it shows a red mark, and by the time you land, you'll get an email.
Yeah. So it is FDM, flight data monitoring. So the most free part of flying is during flight training. The most freedom of flying that there is during flight training.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that you don't follow the rules or anything.
Absolutely.
So basically whatever is the SOP, just follow it, plan accordingly.
Absolutely.
And you're good.
100%.
Absolutely.
No, I mean, when you are flight training, you get to decide where you want to go. You get to
file the route as well.
File the route. You get to decide what altitude you want to fly.
And plus, if you're flying VFR, let's say you're flying VFR, okay, and then you saw a good monument out there. You take a right turn, you hover around it, you see, oh wow, this is beautiful, and then continue to your route, right? You can do that as well.
Sometimes you file a flight plan for next day, and then you are trying to pick up on the frequency today. This is episode 50, and this episode is brought to you by CNTAA, the Pilot Ground School. This episode is sponsored by Captain Neha and CNTAA, the Pilot Ground School. We three look into the training part at CNTAA. Captain Neha is head of training. Captain Pankaj teaches at the training center, and online on demand, and the doubt solving sessions are taken by Captain Neha. The whole curriculum is structured by Captain Neha Thakare and has been proven for success in the DGCA exams for last 15 years. The syllabus is month to month updated as per the last examination of DGCA exams. We provide you with all the study material required, all the training material, and training for the complete syllabus of the DGCA exams. This training is conceptually based and also focused on the exam passing viewpoint.
Absolutely.
So if you are an aspiring pilot looking to clear your DGCA exams in first attempt, then consider signing up for CNTAA online, or if you are willing to move to Mumbai, then you can book your seat for the upcoming batches. July batch is almost full, but if you are looking to join in the month of August, you can get in touch with us. You can get in touch with us on cntaaonline.in, or you can get in touch with us on call, WhatsApp. Our phone number would be
9930300426.
9930300426. That would be the number to call, or drop us a WhatsApp with your first name, last name, and email ID. Admissions are subject to eligibility criteria, but you can get in touch with one of the CNTA representatives, and they'll help you with the requirements and admission process. So yeah,
Absolutely.
we'll be excited to have you at CNTA, and be it online or offline. If it is offline, make sure to book your seats in advance.
Absolutely. And then I'll see you very soon in the training center.
Yes.
Yes, and if you have any questions, if you are currently in your 10th, 11th, you can watch the previous episodes of Pilot Podcast. And if you have any questions, you can list it in the comment section below or reach us directly on our Instagram ID.
Absolutely. Chintan's Instagram ID is
It's
Winged
Winged
Engineer. My Instagram ID would be Nilay _. Captain Neha's Instagram ID would be CNTA Online. Yeah.
Absolutely.
She has her personal Instagram ID, but that is not aviation based. That is just Captain Neha doing her thing. Okay. With her baby and her husband. Yeah.
Yes.
So now she has to go to nurse the baby again. So we'll have to call it here a little bit sooner today, but we'll try to be as regular as possible with these podcasts, because
Yes.
as much as you may be enjoying this, we enjoy doing this as well. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for making the subscriber count to 7,500, and we really
Wow,
appreciate
that's
your
amazing.
support. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. And we'll see you in the next one.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you very much.
And we went to Stuart.
Hmm.
Stuart, we did a touch and go. Touch and go or full stop taxi back?
Touch and go.
Touch and go.
Hmm.
And on the climb out, we are like ready to pick up IFR clearance for whatever connection 345. They're like, connection 345, we do not have any flight plan on the file. Do you remember that happening?
Yeah. Sometimes. So generally I used to
No, this was the flight, the
I
one
know.
that... Okay, so...
got it. Harsh got it.
So what happened,